They tried to make me go to rehab. I said no, no, no.
Welcome to Three Counselors and a Couch, where you have Kiva Green and Crystal Johnson, two um, master level counselors, and we are going to express our opinions, our professional opinions on the psychological pathology that we see demonstrated in the reality shows today, reality stars.
Right, exactly. We're going to pick a few shows. We're not going to pick all shows because there's so many reality shows out now. It's just impossible to critique every show. However, we'll pick a few that we like, and of course, we'll take comments from the audience. You, being the third counselor, will express to us some things that maybe we can help you maybe explain what's going on TV that you may not understand.
So I'm going to pick up this book right here. And for those of you who don't know, this is the DSM-4. And this is the holy grail of psychological counseling. It has every pathological behavior in here. It has the symptoms in it. And it also has suggestions for treatment as well. But you can always help somebody change. And not only do I don't really want to be focused on using psychological words, although we are kind of assessing behavior. We're not judging the people. We don't even know the people, so we're not judging them. But behavior is universal to every human being. So, of course, we can sit back and assess behavior and give commentary on what behavior is. But what we really want to do is we want to focus on commenting on these behaviors based on psychological motivations, patterns of behavior that is to answer the question, is it really drama for TV, or is it really the dysfunction of somebody's life?
Yeah, I understand. But that makes them or allows them to come on TV and behave a certain way. Is that actually scripted?
Right.
Or is that the real person shining through?
Right.
Because eventually the cameras wear off. You know, at first you may be a little apprehensive, or when people follow you around. But after a while, and it's been a proven fact, research shows that after a while, after the cameras follow you, people get back to their normal self. They forget about the cameras after so long. So looking at the behaviors of people and wondering if this is the real you because the lights are on, or is this the real you and you got some stuff you need to deal with?
Right. You act in this way because of issues from your whole lifespan.
Absolutely.
You know, things that have happened from you, to you since you were a child, and you don't even really make the connection. And I'm talking to the pop divas of today's reality shows.
Absolutely.
Really, that's what we want to focus on, the pop divas. We were watching Ayanna Van Zandt
Fix My Life.
Mm-hmm. And we watched Evelyn Lozada in her interview with Ayanna, and Ayanna assessed her behavior, Evelyn's behavior, as a thug among women. So we definitely want to. We believe that we have a voice and that we can speak out about how these pop divas are representing us on national TV.
Well, one thing she did say along with that is you've been rewarded for being a thug.
Right.
So not only is it acceptable, I mean, they're getting paid well to get on TV and act out.
Right.
Whether it's scripted or whether it's hyped up, to bring the fans in or what have you. The point is, at what point do you draw a line and say, this is my line, I will not do this or I will not do that for money or for fame or for fortune, and then what is it costing me in the long run? Because like she said, it's costing a price, whether family, relationships, children, self.
Right.
You paying a price to act that way. And again, like you said, everything comes back to relationships,
Right.
and we know that. And everything boils down to how you were raised and what you saw when you were raised.
And I can appreciate one thing about Evelyn was saying is that her motivation to even check her behavior, whether it was scripted, it was for the show, or even if she's realizing that it's patterns from a lifetime of experiences with not having a father, whatever family dysfunctions that were going on when she was a child. One of the things that she's recognizing is that she doesn't want her new children, as a stepmother, she doesn't want her new children demonstrating this behavior, thinking that this behavior is cool or it's all right. So now she feel like she want to actually take a look at, like, yeah, why am I behaving like this? Why am I accepting this? Am I doing it as a fame whore, or is this really a pathology about who I am, mentally and spiritually as a person?
So let's talk about that for a minute, because watching her, I felt one of two ways. And I don't know her, so it's easy, to judge a person, but you don't know them. So at first I was like, is she sincere? Are these real tears, of pain, of hurt, or is this, like you said, media whore and reality whore, and I just want to be seen and on TV by any means necessary? Which I don't know if the first segment was, and maybe the second segment wasn't. Does that make sense?
I do.
Because after
the fight with
the
her.
Ocho incident, which we know, and which she said was not the first incident. In most cases, it's not the first incident. And things had led up to that, and he had shown her prior to behaviors, and she ignored them. So I believe the second time she was really sincere. I believe that she really saw that, okay, I got issues. However, some things still went over her head. Where is he? Why isn't he here with you now? Right? If he's the head of your household, he's your husband.
Right.
He should be here. And she kind of, brushed it off, gave a little excuse on that. And
well, didn't she say he was working?
She said he was,
because he still had a job at that point.
He was in L.A. is
okay.
what she said, but he was supposed to be there. Remember, my young said he was supposed to be up there. We found out minutes before taping that he would not be here.
Oh, that's right. He copped out at the last minute. Yeah.
It was so many things that said ding, ding, ding to me. Like, just from the moment she walked in the house. From the moment she walked in the house and the young asked her why he wasn't there. To when she gave her the tour of the house and she asked about the glass.
Right, and she said that it was like you guys are on display.
That's what he wants. Nothing ever, we picked this together. This is his house. I moved into his house with his kids, his daughter. You see what I'm saying? What else? This is Chad's room. Remember his room? I don't really come up here.
That's right.
So it seemed like you had was that little closet. That was your space.
With your shoes and your clothes.
And if you notice, she said, I almost cleaned it up, but I didn't, because this is our life. That speaks volumes.
Yeah.
Just chaos. Out of order, clutter is what it was. Spoke volumes.
Disorganization.
Absolutely. And she's just going through the motions. I'm here physically, but I'm not here.
Right. Because, throughout the whole show, she made it very clear that the only thing that was important to her was snagging a superstar to be married. She was supposed to marry that guy.
Right, the first guy.
She never married him, and here she is on a show called Basketball Wives, and she's not even a wife or a girlfriend. She didn't even have a man until she went finding this guy. So it was really important for her to get a man, So it makes me think, like, what are you willing to go through? What are you willing to do to get this man, especially since you're on public display right now, and everybody already knows that your man left you with the wedding dress?
Well, we know what she would do. She pretty much told us in the tweets, right? In their reality show they had together, well, when he came on Basketball Wives right now, on Candy Coated Nights, when they went on there and talked about their sex life, You told me
Yeah.
that I will do whatever it takes to keep this man, this caliber of a man, because I have to have the stuff. I have to keep the image, the money, the fame. And now what? Like she said, what, when, like Ayana asked her, when you strip down and all of that's taken away from you, who are you? It matters.
So I really appreciated the fact that Ayana was risque, if you will, and that she wasn't practicing, the social machine behavior, and she asked all the right questions.
She asked all the right questions.
It was very important to, if you really want to help a person, if you're really concerned about a person getting better and going to the next level, then you have to go inside the person. Unlike watching an interview with Oprah and Usher, what was the purpose of that interview? Usher said that the purpose of it was so that he can have documentation for his children, because the media has said so much about it and he's never spoken about it. So maybe my children will hear my voice and what I have to say about it. But he didn't say anything, and then I was very disappointed with Oprah because she practices that social machine behavior, She didn't ask any questions that was relevant to, kind of just verbalizing or demonstrating that, these people are normal and this is a very stressful, hurtful,
a real
type of
situation that real people go through every day. Not just rich and famous.
Right.
Couples fight over children every day.
And how did you handle it?
How did you handle it?
Yeah.
What made you do what you did?
Yeah.
Not only that, but I guess we have to look at the fact that Oprah is a interviewer. She's a journalist.
Okay.
She's not a professional counselor, therapist, or
healer,
life coach. Okay.
Well, so although she pretends she want to be all of those things.
At one time, she took the approach like that's where she was going. Yeah. Now she's backed all the way back off, and she's a journalist again.
But don't you think, even as a journalist, I mean, even she was mentioning in the interview, that the people want to know,
Yes,
but,
right.
So
that's
know by social media
true.
what the questions are, and the things that we want to know. But you still didn't ask them.
That's true.
Why? Because he probably would have cut the interview off, or done made deals upon deals before even going. So what was the point then?
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Maybe it was something spoken before where if you talk about this, I would shut it down. We know about heard about that. But like you said, even the mother, Miss Jeanette, it was like. You said nothing. I know no more from that interview than I do from reading in the paper.
You made me almost believe that what they say in the gossips in the tabloids, you almost made me believe that was real, Usher. Like, I can't even listen to what come out of your mouth, because everything that was said in the social media sounds like the same thing that came out of your mouth that day. You didn't say nothing,
Again, going into him, what was the purpose? Was it malicious? Was it to make it look like I'm going to be the good guy, I'm going to be the good dad for my children, and she'll be the bad mommy in their eyes because I'm not going to say anything bad about her on TV. And she's going to talk bad about me to them, and I'll be the good guy. Well, what was the purpose? Was it promotion for... What is the purpose?
I'm telling you, though, it reminded me of... Like, it made me think that I could fantasize about a good Lifetime movie where the rich Caucasian man has all the money and all the political power and the social connections, and he can make his wife appear to be a psychotic, bipolar, crazy idiot, and undeserving of having her children.
Or, whatever. I think Halle Berry played in a movie like that, right? The Rich Man's Wife or something.
Yeah.
Where it made it look like she was crazy and sent her to an asylum. Because anything to strip you completely down and let you know who's in power. Yeah. So it was a power play. That's what it was, a power play. And you know,
and what makes a person go to the extreme in exerting power? You know, what's behind that type of behavior? You know, clearly there's got to be a serious insecurity, a serious prior experience of powerlessness that would make you go to the extreme and being so self-centered and moving forward that you would practice power over somebody else and dominate somebody else, almost as if you've experienced what that is for yourself.
Well, twofold. That or entitlement, self-righteousness.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in a place of power now.
Yeah.
I have money. I can dictate and regulate, right? So therefore, I will, at any cost, by any means, with any person.
Yeah.
Same thing with his mother. I can fire you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you helped make me. You know, you my mother and I love you. However, if you step out of line, you can be replaced too, right? Irreplaceable. Everybody's irreplaceable in their lives because of entitlement.
Or even
the insecure,
or the fact that you've been taught that by people abandoning you.
Yeah, that's
true.
True.
At an early age in your life, people are replaceable because no one stays.
That's true. That's true.
No one stays.
Well, he got daddy issues too.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you bring daddy issues in on top of somebody else with daddy issues, right? Because you got we can go back to Evelyn and Ocho, daddy issues, and that brings me to Love and Hip Hop, Mimi and Stevie J. Prime example.
But
and don't leave out Jocelyn.
You brought up Usher's mother. I just thought just now, like, how could Usher's mother, as a mother and as a woman, sit back and allow her son to take another woman's children away? Like, wow. Where would she have to be, and what kind of person would she have to be?
But she said it. She said, "This is the happiest day of my life. I've been waiting on this."
She said that.
And I said, wow.
Because
you have two boys.
Right.
You have two sons.
Which we never hear about the other sons, like Usher's the only child.
Okay, that's another issue too in itself. So you have two sons who, if somebody tried to take them away from you for whatever reason,
how would you fight? How would you fight?
And I don't care how good, bad, or ugly you are, people want to believe that they're good parents.
And that's the whole thing about the interview, right? If you can forget about the fact that you're a mother and you're a woman, and you could take another woman's children away like that and boast about it and feel proud, then, what did she do that was so terrible that you would feel that way about her? That never came out in the interview.
Said.
Did the woman cheat on you? Did she burn the children with the iron? I mean, why? What did she do?
I mean, you would think that she slept with the mama husband or something. It's like, is the lady walking around with horns coming out of her? I'm trying to figure out.
Where's the moral fiber? Where's the character? Like, what happens when you become a part of the fame machine? You don't have that anymore?
Because for her to be in his life for so many years prior to being in a relationship to him, it wasn't that terrible. So why all of a sudden when I decide I want to date your son, we got a problem.
Yeah.
I didn't like you anyway. That's a good one to look at. I never thought about it like that. If the mother could take somebody's children, because as a mother, I'm going to feel for the woman no matter what. I mean, good, bad, or whoever she is, unless she's just a terrible mother abusing her children, which I don't think she is by any means. That's just ridiculous. And
Freud's old concept of the Oedipus, Oedipus Electra complex,
yes.
I don't think I've ever heard like what that is backwards, with these mothers on the show and their boys, you know what I mean? And how they just want to be the central woman, as Mama D put it, the queen,
and he's the prince.
He's the prince, and I'm sitting on the throne. Well, don't the prince deserve a princess? But you know, for you to even use that analogy,
Right.
it don't even make sense because what you really trying to do is you trying to be the queen
and
to him be the king.
And it's not supposed to be like that.
Right.
So
what
that's an issue in
pathology is
itself.
that right there?
We need to look that one up
We gonna
seriously.
look that one
because that's the issue.
Yeah.
Even though she swear, she said, no, I want him to be married, I want him to have a relationship. But to what extent? If you dictate and control who he's with and if it's the right person for you. Mm-hmm. And he said, nobody's ever good enough for mommy's boy. He even said
He's
that.
He's even perpetuating in her behavior and, putting a battery in her back and,
okay. So if we go in that house, me and you go in that house, we would have work to do. Not only because of the forgotten son, the one that pushed aside, not even mentioned. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm talking about Usher's brother.
Right, the little brother.
Even existed.
Okay. Who, for years, has tried to have a music career, and it hasn't gotten off the ground. And you have to be dumbed down because of who your brother and your mother is, because his mother gets just as much recognition because she's always been there with him. So,
well, why do you think she hasn't pushed his career?
I think she tried. I just think it, for whatever reason. I know he makes songs for Usher. He's produced songs for him. However, again, who knows?
I mean, is he in the social media? I'm gonna have to look him up. Like, is he somebody?
I can't even say.
Is he just not a partier, or I don't know.
I'm sure he's out there.
Wow, that
and
must
he
be
knows
really
everybody
to grow up in
because
his shadow.
And I think about Brandy and Ray J, right. Or you think about Janet and Michael, or all the other Jacksons that fall in line with that, and it absolutely for Tony, the Braxton family, prime example. They say that there's that bond, and we'll never be jealous of each other because our mother didn't raise us to be. Which I don't have sisters, so I can only imagine. But I can believe that to an extent. But right. You're human, right? And you're a woman, right? Bottom line, right? There's gonna be something there.
Right. It's gonna become an issue, but at least the mother taught them the family values. You know what I mean? And
it was some foundation there. It was a foundation there.
But if the mother is not practicing it, then what happens to the children? With the psychological training and whatever emotional development they experience from what the parents don't teach them, and then the way the parents behave.
Absolutely.
I mean,
the way the parents treat the children is what matters.
Yeah, Mama D just sends me to the left, honey, because I don't understand. I don't understand how anyone in her circle has not addressed the fact that, well, they do, because she actually said that on the reunion show. She said that people have called her overprotective. Well, that's the way they assess that behavior. But that's not overprotective behavior. No. That's insecure behavior. That's her wanting to be the center of attention in her son's life and fear of being rejected and
not only that, but I'm living vicariously through him because I didn't get to have that life.
What did you give up to have that
child?
Whatever.
Yeah. And now I'm going to get mine and I'm going to ride with him and be his woman.
I'm going to be his
woman, not his mom.
That's right.
And the line gets real thin and blurry in that kind of situation. Right. I'm going to go over here and ask Mama D for advice. Mm-hmm. But Mama D worse than, what was the chick name that he was messing with? Shunt?
The one with the bad wig?
Yes.
I don't know.
But that's
grandma.
It was the same relationship, though.
Absolutely.
That's my home girl. That's my... I can curse and kick it with you and drink and smoke and blunts, and then at the same time you gonna sit down and be my mama? No. Yeah. It's just out of order. Yeah. That's what it is.
In that order.
Dysfunction. Right.
In that order.
Okay. The this and the that and dysfunction. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It is. It really is.
So... the third counselor, because here are the two. So you are the third counselor, and we would really love to hear what you have to say.
Yes.
Clearly, you don't. It's nice to have a master's degree, and it's nice to learn some theories about some of the greatest scientists and theorists of our time. That studied behavior and tried to help people in studying behavior. But if you're just an average person, just like us, then common sense goes a long way. And if you're able to recognize patterns of behavior,
Absolutely.
if you see a person like repeating the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, then clearly you know that that's insane behavior. So we want to hear it from you. What do you think about Usher and his mama and his behind the wall brother.
Right. Right.
And his ex-wife,
kids.
Right. And what do you think about Evelyn Lozada? Like, I want to just say another thing about that. Like, I was saying that I think that she was really brave, though,
Absolutely.
to even allow Ayanna to ask her those type of questions. And I mean, I call that real drama, because the bottom line is that they talked about real issues. Well, and even if she wasn't able to go real deep with that, that takes a couple of therapeutic sessions.
Absolutely.
For anybody that comes to therapy, you always come with your presenting problem and what you think the problem is.
With your guard up.
Right, and you have to spend time in therapy to realize that what you think the problem is really not the problem. Because if it was, you wouldn't be here talking to us.
Right.
You know what I mean?
True.
So just for her even to, step in with both feet, I thought that was really amazing. I thought that was the best thing I had ever seen her do. I don't think that it eradicates her reputation, because she's just gone too far with her, with her nonsense. But I think that she can really prove to be a real reality star if she would continue to share how what motivated her to throw glasses in people's face and throw wine bottles and jump across the table and things like that. If she could really get to the root of what that behavior was, like, I'm afraid of not being loved. Well, where did you get that message from? Or why are you so fearful of losing everything? What was it like for you to be growing up in the Bronx? Hey, New York, and then coming to, Miami and to luxury. And, a lot of people fear going back to the poorhouse. You know what I mean? And,
Absolutely.
Because what was in the poorhouse? A lot of lack and poverty and struggle.
But,
fear.
I mean, to leave it at this, absolutely. She is brave to be vulnerable on TV in front of millions of people and open yourself up for this type of conversation and criticism that's going to come.
Right.
Whether people like you, hate you, love you, or whatever.
Right.
Two, I love it. I love Ayanna. And like she said, to be thrust upon this life with no role model.
Right.
Or, as me and you said before, the proper kind of role model, but you didn't even know what you were looking at. Because you didn't even know how to recognize it. Because you don't know what that is over there.
Right. And I just want to say,
it looks unfamiliar.
I just want to say to all of them, and especially to my hip hop stars, who's in your entourage? You got a lawyer, you got a publicist, you got a stylist, you got all of that. But do you have a life coach? Do you have counsel? Do you have somebody who you can check your head in with? I'm an everyday person, and I know that there are times when, I get kind of confused about the things that are going on in my life and how to manage my life, and, why am I even in this position of confusion in the first place, and how it goes all the way back to who my daddy and who my mama was and what our relationship was like. And